Could you introduce yourself, please?
So my name's Julia Carr and I work for ARU as a community listening lead, which means that I work a lot with Citizens UK.
My name is Jennifer Osuide. I'm a recent graduate of Public Health and Community Wellbeing.
My name is Osereimen Akhilele and I'm a student of ARU studying a Master's in Construction Project Management.
So we've worked for a couple of years now with SHoKE as part of Citizens UK, and we've presented a range of really quite tricky challenges. First one was around getting SHoKE students to do some research on how we could negotiate with national government to change policy so that people who were living in the UK undocumented for a wide variety of reasons, so their circumstances may have changed, so they were here legally, but through divorce or bereavement they lost the right to remain here, or they were victims of scams and lost their passports, whatever, so in a very vulnerable situation. But how can we ensure that those people, if they are a victim of crime themselves, or if they witness a crime, that they feel safe in reporting that to the police without fear of being reported to the Home Office. Since then we've got them to do a project on how we can ensure that child migrants under the age of 18 aren't kept in prison-like environments whilst they're being processed. And then more local to home requests from Chelmsford City Council, we looked at how Chelmsford could provide really affordable housing, and not just affordable in name, but actually housing that people can afford to rent and buy, and how ARU could better support students to become involved in politics, at least by registering to vote and then to cast their vote in local and national elections. So they're the four that we've done so far, and there's more to come.
It's a project I worked on where we were challenged to come up with solutions for a problem that undocumented migrants face. The solutions that we presented to the partners were very much welcomed, to the point that we were called to speak at the Chelmsford Citizens Founding Assembly.
I worked with Citizens UK on trying to stop a bill that was going to be passed by the government that would say children of illegal migrants should be kept in asylums. I mean, when you think about it, children and asylum should not be in the same sentence.
The SHoKE projects that we've been involved in they've had quite a big impact, both nationally, some of them, and on a more local level. So nationally, our students went to the House of Lords and they spoke to members of the House of Lords about the undocumented migrant campaign, and they were listened to because of the work that they'd done through the research that SHoKE did. So they had a real impact there on a national scale. More locally, they were instrumental in putting together a plan, a project that ARU is working on to make sure that our students are informed about how they register to vote, who can vote. So that's had a big impact and will continue to have an impact within ARU. Citizens UK, we are a community action group, so we look at an issue, we figure out a solution, and we take action to move towards that solution. What we don't really have time or capacity to do is to necessarily do the research that underpins why we want to make that change. So the work that the SHoKE students have done has given us that information, that research, that we can then go to policyholders and those in power and say, okay, this is why we want, this is the change we want, and this is why we want you to make that change. And that gives us a much more powerful argument, and that comes from the work that SHoKE does with us.
The result of what SHoKE is. It's something that inspires you to not just work on the challenge that is presented to you, but to also do more in the society where and when you can. So for me, that's a beautiful testimony, and I like to tell it to people.
And in the end, it was very good, because even if we didn't see total change, there was actual change in the timeline that the government was going to put on the children being kept in those asylums. So sometimes change could be in the little things. It doesn't have to be you changing the world.